This is Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Welcome to Pulse of Africa News. I'm Ada Masai and I'm thrilled you're here with us. African diplomats accredited to Ethiopia have praised the Pan-Africa Media Initiative, POA, launched by Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, calling it timely, necessary and vital for shaping Africa's own narrative. Resident ambassadors and diplomats on Friday paid a visit to the Pulse of Africa media studio in the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa, in their drive to show solidarity with Pan-African media platforms working to strengthen continental narratives. These senior diplomats took part in a special familiarization and networking event aimed at strengthening collaboration between African diplomatic missions and the continent's emerging media platforms. Among them, Ambassador and Deputy Head of Mission of the Gambia to Ethiopia, Lamin Fati, Ali Janoro Nuntutumu Abeme, Administrative Attaché at the Embassy of Equatorial Guinea, Ambassador El Hafiz Issa, Deputy Head of Mission at the Sudanese Embassy, Mumbe Hama Undunu, representative of the Zambian Embassy in Ethiopia, have spoken about their observations of Pulse of Africa. They said that establishing a Pan-African media platform dedicated to African perspectives was a crucial step forward, and they expressed their gratitude to Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed for spearheading the project. They also expressed hope that the platform will successfully implement its plans.
I think the initiative put forward by the Prime Minister to have such a media house that will deliberate on the African narrative regarding events and happenings on the continent, regarding the history of the continent, the civilization of the continent, and the development trajectory of the continent, I think is an important initiative. And for a media house to be at the forefront of that, like the Pulse of Africa, I think is very important, and it's a good initiative that which Africa deserves and Africa needs at this moment, so that nobody tells us this is our story, but we take charge of telling our own story to the rest of the world. I think it's an important perspective that I gained from interacting with the Pulse of Africa today.
Actually, this was a very great experience, and we are very grateful for the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed for building this, for creating this initiative, because Africa need this initiative because we are facing various critical times, and it's very important that in these critical times, Africa needs to share their own views, their own experiences, since it's happening on the ground. We are the ones here. We are the ones that are supposed to share those things out there. So I'm very grateful for this initiative, and also this platform, the POA, is going to be a very great platform for to share the African values, because we have a lot of values. We have a lot of culture to share that people don't know, and this is a very great opportunity, a very great initiative, and a very great platform to share those things.
It is excellent initiative, because as we all know that the media nowadays is very important. It can play a positive role towards the prosperity, welfare and development of the people, and at the same time it can be used as a negative tool to destroy the image of a certain community or even a certain continent. So to take this issue into account and to take an initiative to establish such institution concerning with the covering and even reflecting the true image of Africa. It is not an easy matter to be done.
What I've observed is that POA is actually redefining the way media is being portrayed in Africa, and definitely is becoming the face of Africa.
The diplomats collectively stressed the importance of unity and collaboration, calling on Africans to work together on a single platform to share their stories. They noted that such cooperation strengthens Pan-Africanism and upholds the continent's ideals of unity, solidarity, and self-representation.
I think we just need to collaborate more, we need to unite more, we need to speak with one voice, and I think that can be done through media, the media outreach. I think our media houses, our media personnel, our youth, all need to be part of this game of spreading the narrative of Africa, telling the story of Africa, the narrative that we have, the developments that are taking place. And I think the youth are very much connected today through new media platforms. And I think this Pulse of Africa can help in generating that atmosphere where African countries can collaborate more, tell their story together under one platform like the Pulse of Africa. And I think such a collaboration needs to go on, it needs to continue, and it needs to be strengthened for us to tell our Pan-Africanist view of the things happening on our continent.
African countries need to support the initiative because we need to have a platform where we're going to showcase our developmental projects.
When we saw the presentation express the mission of the institution of POA, we really satisfied that it is in line with the most of the African Union Commission mission, such as Africa We Want, and we should support this institution, and we must urge our member states to do their best to collaborate with those who are in the place to enable them to take the mission of Africa further, not only inside the continent, but also outside of the continent.
The Ethiopian government give the first step of building this, and now it's all about the other countries to keep upholding this idea that the Prime Minister started. So it's all about all African countries.
The federal government of Nigeria has unveiled a comprehensive policy framework aimed at reducing the cost of education for parents and improving learning outcomes. The policy also seeks to promote sustainability in schools through the adoption of reusable, high-quality textbooks and strengthen quality assurance mechanisms. The policy, jointly issued by the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, and the Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Ahmed, was made available to Newsmain in Abuja on Friday. The ministers say the policy formed part of ongoing reforms to reposition the education sector and ease the financial burden on families. They explained that the framework prioritized the use of standardized, durable textbooks designed to last between 4 and 6 years, while prohibiting the bundling of disposable workbooks with textbooks in schools. According to them, the approach would allow learning materials to be reused across multiple academic sessions, enable siblings to share textbooks, lower recurring education costs, and reduce waste, thereby supporting environmental sustainability. As part of broader reforms, the ministers said the federal government had introduced a uniform academic calendar to promote consistency in teaching, learning, and school planning nationwide.
In Ethiopia, more homes and businesses now have access to electricity. Access to power supports education, healthcare, and local businesses. Light changes lives.
Morocco is accelerating the digital transformation of its fisheries sector. Government officials told Parliament this week that 68 of the country's 76 fish markets now operate using digital systems. During an oral question session at the House of Representatives, Secretary of State for Maritime Fisheries, Zakia Dourik, said the rollout of digital tools in the first sale fish markets allows the state to access more accurate information and strengthen oversight of commercial transactions. In practical terms, digital registration facilitates the tracking of sales and the production of usable data, which reduces transaction opacity. The system also improves audit and control capabilities, which authorities view as essential levers to improve governance and business practices across the sector. The digital transition extends beyond markets to fishing zones. Authorities now track all vessels operating in Moroccan waters via satellite, Dourik said. At the same time, regulators use radio frequency identification technology to trace authorized vessels, strengthen enforcement, and combat illegal fishing. The government is also applying digital tools to scientific research, fisheries management, production methods, and commercialization. This approach aims to improve data collection, planning, and the sustainable management of marine resources. A meeting of defense experts from member countries of the International Conference on the Great Lakes Region, ICGLR, opened Thursday in Zambia to deliberate on the deteriorating security and humanitarian situation in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC. The meetings aim to forge a unified and coordinated regional response to the security situation in eastern DRC. Among the key issues under consideration are the expanded Joint Verification Mechanism Plus, EGVM Plus, the terms of reference for the ceasefire, and the oversight and monitoring mechanism signed in Doha. In his opening remarks, Zambia Army Commander Jeffrey Zile said the security challenges facing the region call for strengthened collective efforts, deeper information sharing, and enhanced coordinating cross-border operations. He noted that armed groups have continued to destabilize peace and security in the region, describing the challenges as immense. Only through unity of purpose and decisive action can we overcome these destabilizing forces and secure a future of lasting stability for the Great Lakes region, Zile said. Zile added that the humanitarian situation in eastern DRC remains precarious, requiring urgent attention as families are being displaced and communities continue to live under constant threat. Yasir Ibrahim Ali Muhammad, Deputy Executive Secretary of the ICGLR, said the humanitarian and security situation in eastern DRC has deteriorated significantly, threatening the sovereignty and territorial integrity of member states and risking peace and stability. He expressed concern that the situation has worsened following the signing of the Washington agreements last month, intended to reaffirm commitments to peace and prosperity. Shifting to business news, Tanzania's economic growth is expected to remain strong in the first quarter of 2026, supported by low inflation, the country's central bank said Thursday. Economic growth in mainland Tanzania is projected at 6% in the first quarter of 2026, while Zanzibar's economy is expected to expand by 7.2%, Bank of Tanzania Governor Emmanuel Tutuba said after a meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee held Wednesday in Dar es Salaam. Tutuba said growth continues to be driven mainly by agriculture, mining, and construction, while inflation has remained low and unstable. Inflation averaged 3.5% in mainland Tanzania and 3.4% in Zanzibar in the fourth quarter of 2025 and is expected to stay within the target range throughout 2026. He added that lower crude oil prices are expected to ease pressure on domestic inflation and foreign exchange demand, while record high gold prices will continue to support foreign exchange earnings and exchange rate stability. Botswana is inviting Russian investors, among other international partners, to collaborate in the development of rare earth minerals and diamonds, with the country's Minister of International Relations, Fenio Butali, citing political and economic stability as key investment drivers. During a meeting held between Minister Butali and his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov, the parties discussed opportunities for Russian companies in Botswana's mining sector. The meeting aligned with the country's broader foreign policy to strengthen mutually beneficial partnerships with global stakeholders as Botswana intensifies efforts to expand its mining industry. We believe that Botswana is the best market for investment, given the political and economic stability. This is why we do encourage Russian investors to come to Botswana, stated Butali. Now to sport news. AFCON 2025 sensation in the stands, Congolese superfan Michel Lumumba has received a jeep from the Democratic Republic of Congo government as a gesture of appreciation. A nice gift for the star of the stands, although the Democratic Republic of Congo was eliminated by Algeria 1-0 in the round of 16 of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. One of the Leopards fans was honored by his country's Minister of Sports, nicknamed quote-unquote Lumumba. Artist Michel Kuka was given a jeep as a token of appreciation, according to different sources. Michel Kuka caused a sensation during this competition in Morocco, standing motionless in the stands during the Leopards matches. Also known for his resemblance to Patrice Emery Lumumba, one of the fathers of Congolese independence, this fan has become one of the symbols of this 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. In tears after the Leopards' defeat in extra time against Algeria, Michel Kuka was teased by striker Mohamed Amoura, among others, but ultimately received a nice gesture from the Algerian Federation. That's all for this hour. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.